when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to Youth Wednesdays and Tobago Updates Morning Show. Good morning and welcome to all of you. My name is Dwayne Nurse. You're viewing us here live here in Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago. Yes, we're coming out of Armageddon from yesterday's debacle. Yes, we are connected. We are back online. Thank the Lord. Hallelujah. For those who would have suffered 4 or 5 long hours of being disconnected. Good morning and welcome. And this is Youth Wednesdays and Tobago Updates Morning Show. And I'm joined with...
Good morning, viewers. My name is Kaylee Lewis, and yes, it is Wednesday, the middle of the week, and we're here to give you that bit of youthful vibe to spice up the week. We want to send a special good morning to all of our viewers on Facebook, YouTube, and channel 102 on Amplia. But Dwayne, before we discuss that treacherous time, let's allow Natalia to introduce herself.
Good morning, Dwayne. Good morning, Kelly, and good morning to all of viewers joining us this morning on our various channels. Dwayne and Kelly, I'm ready to hear about what you have to say about Armageddon yesterday.
Right, I will go first, right? I know ladies, it's customary for ladies to go first. B-Mobile, I want my rebate, right? That is all I want to say. I want my rebate. And I think it highlights several challenges that Tobago faces, and I was discussing yesterday afternoon that this is a security issue, right? So if there is any intention to shut down Tobago, the easiest thing to do is to cut a cable. Just saying. I don't know what are your thoughts.
I mean, yes, the digital data users definitely felt superior to us B-Mobile data users. So it was very sad, but I think it allowed persons to connect a little more, because I was home with my mom and my sisters, and we were there playing boy, girl, animal place thing, because we literally had nothing else to do. Nobody had anything downloaded on Netflix to watch offline. Right. So it was, a very coming together, getting together kind of time.
Unfortunately, we had to leave work earlier than usual yesterday. So productivity was at all times at the office.
Some people would actually not say unfortunately, Dwayne, but I see you. It's okay.
Exactly.
All right, but I do share in the sentiments with Dwayne. I had a hard time yesterday. Kelly, it's nice to hear that you had a little family time, but honestly, I had to send a few communications even to some of our producers here at Tobago Updates, and I was not able to, so I mean, it was difficult. But it was nice. It is nice to hear that you had some family time, Kelly. At least somebody got a good thing out of it.
I think Tobago, it's time that Tobago has its own servers, just to ensure that we mitigate against these challenges.
But can you all imagine what quarantine would have been like if we had no connection? I think persons probably would have gone a little bit crazy.
Yeah, I almost went crazy yesterday, just saying.
Okay.
But there is one thing though, people always asking, why is it that is one line have to come down for Tobago to lose all the service? That is ridiculous. I hope for better in the future.
Yes.
All right, so let's go straight into news in 90 seconds with Natalia Nancis.
News in 90 seconds is brought to you by Standards. Never beaten on quality and prices.
Thank you, Dwayne and Kaylee. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Wednesday, April 24th, 2024. The Tobago Apicultural Society is raising concerns about the proposed Beekeeping and Bee Products Amendment Regulations Act 2023, asserting that it may adversely affect the beekeeping industry, particularly for local beekeepers' profitability. One contentious aspect is that the proposed amendment doubles the permissible distance for apiaries from residential areas, increasing it from 100 to 200 meters. Additionally, all beekeepers are troubled by the new $100 permit fee for importing honey and bee byproducts. Although the legislation was scheduled for debate in Parliament last Friday, it was postponed. Beekeepers across Trinidad and Tobago are hopeful that this delay will allow for amendments to strengthen the legislation and bolster the industry. Minority Leader Kelvon Morris questioned the THA's budget management, revealing the current administration received more central government funding than its predecessor. Morris accused the current administration of misleading the public about underfunded being underfunded. Morris posted an image on his Facebook page outlining the administration's budget from 2021 to present, totaling $7 billion over 3 years, contrasting the PNM's $40 billion budget spent over 21 years. Morris alleged the current administration falsely claimed central government underfunding since taking office, noting a $202 million increase in the 2022-2023 budget, with a cumulative rise of $387 million since 2021. President General of the Oilfields Workers Trade Union, Ansel Roger, personally delivered a letter to the Ministry of Public Utilities yesterday. The letter addressed critical concerns of Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission workers, including inadequate health and safety equipment, tool shortages, and the outsourcing of jobs to provide individuals. Roger urged Minister of Public Utilities Marvin Gonzalez to intervene, emphasizing the workers' dedication to delivering efficient service to the nation. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Life is good with Zero. Zero interest for 6 months. Zero down payments. Zero stress payment plan. That's right. With Standards, My Terms, we are putting the power of zero in your hands. Now, you can get that new sectional, fridge, stove, or TV for zero down. Pay zero interest later and enjoy a zero stress payment plan plus quick approval within 48 hours. Standards, never beaten on quality and prices.
Okay, viewers, and we're back. Thank you, Natalia, for that wonderful read of the news. We're going to go straight into our birthdays for this morning. Birthdays on April 24th. And we have one birthday for this morning. Birthday greetings are going out to Josiah Herbert. Happy birthday to you, Josiah, coming from the Tobago Updates family. We hope that you have a wonderful day today. Lots of cake and ice cream.
All right. So we want to give you the rundown this morning, and we have a very exciting and fun-filled rundown for you. First, we have the First Citizens National Poetry. Miss Gabrielle Murray, 19-year-old spoken word artist or poet, and conducting that interview will be Miss Lewis. Next, we have SEA Brain Cooler, and we'll be discussing with Mr. Hazel Taylor, coordinator and continuing at THTI, and Miss Nancy will be conducting that interview. And finally, we have Elevate, the workshop and the concert, and having that discussion this morning. We're having Miss Sharon Phillips, and yours truly will be conducting that interview. That will be all for us this morning. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Tipsy presents Sip and Paint, an expression of a mother's love. Join us at the Tropicist Beach Hotel, Sunday, May 12th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Guests are entitled to finger foods and wine. Full package painter tickets only $600. And if you just want to hang out, we've got you. Limers pay $450. You'll be entertained by a special sensational reggae artist, a live band, and come witness our bonfire. We've got loads of giveaways. We're catering to mom all evening. Sunday, May 12th, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tropicist Beach Hotel. Come, sip and paint with Tipsy.
TWCU Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited notifies all members of its 74th Annual General Meeting at the Center of Excellence, Tunapuna and Shore Park Complex, Tobago, on Saturday, 11th May 2024, commencing at 1 p.m. Items on the agenda include minutes of the 73rd AGM, Board of Directors and other committee reports, election of officers, presentation of audited accounts 2023, recommendations, dividends 2023, 2023 and resolutions. Budget Proposal 2024. Amendments to bylaws. Registration for the meeting can be done online via the Society's website at www.twcu.co.tt. Their main office at number 31 Pembroke Street, Port of Spain, Trinidad, or their Tobago unit at Port Mall Shopping Center, Scarborough, Tobago. Deadline for registration is Wednesday, 1st May 2024 at 3 p.m. In order to safeguard the health and safety of all persons in attendance, COVID-19 protocol measures will be observed. For further information, please contact the Society at 623-4444. TWCU Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Our credit union, one family.
Deltec Distributors, best deal. 3 pounds pork, goat, chicken, turkey, beef, 5 meats, 3 pounds each, $300, best deal. Or you could try 5 pounds pork, goat, chicken, turkey, beef, 5 meats, 5 pounds each, $500, best deal. $20 delivery. Call me now, 359-5040 or 237-0102. Order online at www.deltecdistributors.com or check with us, Mainwood, Argyle, Tobago. Deltec Distributors, best deal.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to Youth Wednesdays and Tobago Updates Morning Show. You're viewing us here live in Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago. My name is Dwayne for those who are just joining us. And this morning we want to begin our conversation surrounding Elevate concert. And to have this discussion this morning, we have none other than a very well-talented woman in this space, Tobagonian by birth, Miss Sharon Phillips. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, good morning. Good morning to Tobago, by extension Trinidad and Tobago, and the rest of the viewing listenership.
All right, how are you?
Tired a bit, but I'm good actually. I'm well, I'm blessed, and I'm happy to be in this space for this moment.
All right. So Miss Phillips, for those who don't know who you are and what you do, just give them a synopsis, right, of who you are, what you do, etc.
I really hate to sell myself, you know that, right?
No, that's fine.
But I'm a born and bred Tobagonian. I'm one of the people who can say that I am proud to have been raised by the community, the village that is Tobago. I'm a consummate and complete creative. That means that this is how I make my living. I'm a designer.
Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited notifies all members of its 74th Annual General Meeting at the Center of Excellence, Tunapuna and Shore Park Complex, Tobago, on Saturday, 11th May 2024, commencing at 1 p.m. Items on the agenda include minutes of the 73rd AGM, Board of Directors and other committee reports, election of officers, presentation of audited accounts 2023, recommendations, dividends 2023, and resolutions. Budget Proposal 2024. Amendments to bylaws. Registration for the meeting can be done online via the Society's website at www.twcu.co.tt. Their main office at number 31 Pembroke Street, Port of Spain, Trinidad, or their Tobago unit at Port Mall Shopping Center, Scarborough, Tobago. Deadline for registration is Wednesday, 1st May 2024 at 3 p.m. In order to safeguard the health and safety of all persons in attendance, COVID-19 protocol measures will be observed. For further information, please contact the Society at 623-4444. TWCU Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Our credit union, one family.
put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates Morning Show. You're viewing us here in live here in Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago. My name is Dwayne Nurse. For those who just rejoining us, we want to apologize for the technical difficulty as we continue the conversation surrounding Elevate, the workshop and concert. And this morning we're discussing with Miss Sharon Phillips, who is quite renowned in the Tobago space, in Trinidad and Tobago, and I might even arguably say in the region and internationally. Good morning and welcome to you, Ms. Phillips.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, Tobago Updates.
For those who might have just opened their fridge doors and would have suffered the same technical feat that we just experienced, just tell the viewers about yourself and what you have been doing and what you do.
Well, I am Sharon Phillips from Mason Hall, Tobago. I am a consummate creative. I live from the creative sector. I'm a singer, songwriter, but also does some arrangement and production as well. I'm a designer, sculptor, artist, 3D, everything, wire bender. I dabble in everything. Let's just put it that way. I really hate to sell myself. Bond girl. I've done a bit of everything, and I returned here in 2012 to take care of my ailing father, and I had to leave. I really had to go abroad in order to make sure that some opportunities would have come my way in terms of exposure. But I returned in 2012 with an objective to give back, and I've been doing that since.
Right, quite noble. The concert, the workshop. How does a concert and a workshop work?
All right.
And what is the plan in all of this?
I'm glad that you've asked. So one of the issues that we are having in the creative sector is that, unfortunately, a lot of persons, for example, who are at the administrative arm of the sector have never been practitioners within the sector. So they don't understand this sector, not even from a practical standpoint. If you were doing a regular concert or a regular product, and it's not a regular concert, I need to state that to Tobago and the rest of the world, we are now putting on a concert that is going to rival the likes of what you see abroad in the first world regions. And the reason for that is that we have been getting it wrong for a long time, and sometimes when you want something done the right way, you just have to do it yourself. Now, being an artist myself, I'm being exposed internationally to A-listed situations that the local artists here have not been exposed to. It does bring me to a place of responsibility where that is concerned, to have that kind of offering done. And if you were having a production, you would have rehearsals, but it would have only been that level of intimate interaction with the curation of the production would only have been experienced by the A-listed actors or dancers or singers or whoever that may have been, within the production and no one else. However, I have seen from time immemorial, I've seen the THA become the largest promoter and financier of fetes and events with very little to no give back. Less entertainment, of course, which is the objective of the event, but there's no real tangible give back.
And what does this tangible give back in relation to this concert would look like for you?
And this tangible give back in terms of this concert is a pay forward. So I am changing the attitude of how we do things from the way we are now prepared to do things. And there are going to be more than 12 top-tier Tobago artists and creatives on this particular show. Each of them is going to be given back by way of being a part of the workshop. This workshop is happening in tandem with the education sector as well. Because what we are doing, culture isn't going to go anywhere unless we're teaching it to the children,
Right.
So we have partnered now with Goodwood School, and we want to partner with all the high schools, with the students in 4th and 5th forms, as long as it's not going to affect their exams or anything. The classes are going to be, the workshop is going to happen between the hours of 6 to 9 for 14 days. So listen, the concert is 1 day, probably 2.5 to 3 hours. But the workshop is 14 days. And I've gotten my creatives to come on board. They are going to be there with these youths, with these new creatives, inspiring them, assisting them, learning and growing together, because that's the only way we can do it. And we want to have them, it's important to have them at that age and stage, because when children graduate from school, they usually do not have the ability to get a job immediately. They are either too young for employment, and this is why the workshop is doing designing, arts and craft, dance and drama.
And that would have been my next question, because we are hearing a lot about the word creatives.
Yes.
And just kind of dissect that for those who might not understand what that means.
Everyone who is in the creative and performing arts. So this is the queen of reggae. Is a reggae concert. We have David Frank, we had Kirsch Ramsey there, we have David Frank on violin. So it's not just singers. And of course, you know, I am the queen of Bacchanal. I had to bring my boy Kidani. Yes, Kidani had to run out and improvise. I'm loving this, bringing back masculinity into our dance spaces. You know, I'm big on that. I'm very big on that. So, Tobago, it's going to be a massive event. And maybe when you understand why we are doing this event, we have 4 creatives right now that this concert is in benefit of. It's a benefit concert, by the way.
And just quickly tell us, because we are...
Yeah, those persons have been diagnosed with a range of illnesses that are very serious at this point in time, and we have to raise some serious money. Now, I've heard Tobago complain, and this is what I have to tell you right now. Kay Allen needs you. Sophie Guillaume needs you. Brian Clark needs you, and Lisa Maxwell needs you. 2 of those people you just saw on flyers. They will be performing, although this is for them. They're not comfortable with just their peers working. They want to work too. So I need Tobagonians to come out.
I want you to quickly tell us the cost for tickets.
Early bird tickets are $200. They're going to end on Friday. Get your tickets before 6 p.m. We have it at Pablo's Supermarket in Argyle, where Kay Allen's family is from. We have Viewport Supermarket, both Scarborough and Canaan. We have at Lost Restaurant and Bar. The box open at Shaw Park is going to be open from just before the concert itself. And committee members, call the numbers. We have flyers up all over social media. So
grew up running around in the sun for fun when the day come. I grew up reading cover to cover under the covers for hours when the day done. Way back when I used to wear backpack and ribbon, the word tablets only had one definition. You see, in the dinosaur days that I grew, when you wanted to know the meaning of a word, you didn't ask Siri. The only woman you would ask was your mommy, and she would tell you to look it up in the dictionary. So I went to Merriam-Webster, not Alexa, trying to find what being a child means, cause it's clickbait. Weaves and wigs, body bubbles and clips age, playing mind games like Minecraft and Fortnite, don't fly kite, ride bike, no bedtime on a school night. Yes, I was taught language is motivational, but I just thought some things would be generational, like children. These 21st century revised editions, updated versions, products don't produce themselves, so I blame the manufacturers. Parents today don't parent anymore. Too many unerased human mistakes walking around. The faults of adults who like to play without protection, well, congratulations. Responsibility is the ramification of not wearing rubber, not taking Plan B, or you're not making love, or you're out here making babies. And motherhood is more than cute. Daily Bump update, IG stories. Fatherhood goes further than adding some words to social media bio. That's easy. I mean, it is easy. Don't do the deed if you don't want the duties. Dumped on the free babysitter, TV, pictures rated PG, but parental guidance can't be provided by a flat screen. Before toddlers turn to teen scenes of violence.
And that was Miss Gabrielle Murray. She is joining us in studio this morning here on Tobago Updates Youth Wednesday. That was her spoken word piece for the National Poetry Slam from First Citizens, the Bocas Lit Fest for 2024. I know a lot of us might be very much aware of the spoken word competitions that we have every year. Now it's Gabrielle who entered. She has been a part of the spoken word competition for some time, and she continues on. She is in the finals for the Grand Slam that will take place on Sunday. So good morning, Gabrielle. Gabrielle, good morning. You can go ahead and introduce yourself to the viewers.
Hi, good morning. So as I said, my name is Gabrielle Murray. I'm 19 years old and I am a spoken word poet, and this is my first time in the Grand Slam of the First Citizens National Poetry Slam.
All right, and I just want to say before we start, on behalf of course, Tobago Updates and myself, right, congratulations on making it to the Grand Slam.
Thank you.
The competition I know is very stiff. There are a lot of creative talents out here, but I am very much happy that your talent made it to the Grand Slam. Now, that specific spoken word piece that was just performed there before we started the interview, I particularly loved it. It had a lot of facts in it, and then it was brought in, of course, with creativity, and Gabrielle brought across it very clearly. I loved it, Gabrielle. I loved it. So congratulations on being in the Grand Slam.
Thank you.
How do you balance your everyday life and writing a spoken word?
Well, back when I was in school, it was much more difficult. I think that I put a lot of effort into the pieces, being sort of as some people might say, a perfectionist, keep on going it over and over and seeing what ways I could make it better and better. So that used to be extremely challenging while managing schoolwork. But right now, not being in school, I've devoted all my time into preparing these poems so that they can be the best and so that I could only deliver a winning performance coming Sunday.
All right, so you said that this is your first time making it to the Grand Slam. So could you tell us about your spoken word pieces before? How is it different for you this time? What kind of dedication is different from what you would have dedicated in your high school years?
High school years. So during the high school years, most of the competitions I participated in were online. The only one I could think of that was in person was Two Cents Movement, which I'm a part of now. They have a competition, a festival more like, called Race the Bar. So that's for secondary school students, and that was in person. So the energy of the audience, I try to factor that in now. I think that's one of the main differences, I would say. Factor in where can I get the audience to be involved in this piece in a certain part of it. But more or less the same sort of preparation goes into writing it and making sure that, writing for a competition versus writing for an entertaining piece is different.
Okay. All right. So, what are your plans for, how is your plans going for the preparation, in preparation for the Grand Slam? Do we expect to see a longer spoken word piece, or would it be the same length, or, what are the requirements?
Okay, so it has to be around the same length. We have a time stipulation and an entire rubric, which I am using to definitely craft the piece to be the best that it could be. What happened is that I started writing this piece the day after the results were announced for the finals. So it has been written a long time. My sister says she thinks she's probably heard it over 100 times now. So it's just saying it over and over, drilling it. I got my primary school teacher. She's also the CEO of Rhythmic Vibrations. She has been helping me. I ran it with Clavia. I'm not sure. Some persons might have seen the piece with Clavia. That was the school piece with School is Stress. That has been going around. That was probably last year.
Well. Yes.
Yes. So I was working with her, and then just my family, saying it to them all the time, and yeah, just practicing.
Okay. And in all of this preparation, what lessons do you take out of preparation, out of doing spoken word on a whole? Because I know, of course, there is some research that you'd have to put down before actually writing a piece. So what lessons have you brought from preparing for spoken words or even performing?
That's a good question. Darren Sandy, who is also a finalist, who has been a mentor to me, I spoke with him and he was saying timing. Like I did actually enter last year, and I didn't make it past the auditions. It was school and so many things I was juggling, and he was saying timing is everything, and I feel like that's what I'm taking away. I'm seeing everything moving according to how it should be, and just waiting and knowing that, for years, since I was about 11 or 12, I've been doing this, and just seeing that you take your time and you grow and where you can go. Another thing that I've really drawn from this experience is that some people say like it's a gift. God gives us gifts and so on, but we have to develop our talents. So to put in the work to develop, and once you are intentional and you want it, that you can achieve it. In terms of research, I had to research a lot for this piece that I'm going to do for the finals. It's something that I don't want to give too much away.
Of course not. Surprise us.
Yes, it is. I'm going for the surprise element for sure. But a lot of research, because it is something that as Tobagonians and as youths, you will know about, but you don't recognize how much you don't know about it. So I'm excited to enlighten. It's mostly going to be a Trinidad audience. Hopefully Tobagonians could come and support, but really enlighten. That's what I'm going for the finals.
All right. So you speak on enlightenment, right? Do you think that Tobago, because you are inviting Tobagonians to see your performance in Trinidad, do you think that Tobago they have like a vast knowledge on what spoken word is?
I think it's growing more and more in Tobago. I wouldn't want to speak for everyone, but I think the idea of spoken word is always changing and evolving. There was a 10-year-old who competed from Tobago. He made it to the semi-finals, and hearing him just goes to prove that spoken word is reaching even to the youngest. So I think we have an idea, and more persons are getting involved in it, which is nice to see.
And in light of this, do you plan on, because your spoken word pieces are normally very excellent. So I know you have other stages that you would perform in. Of course, I've seen you perform in church, being your cousin and everything. I have seen you perform on different stages, right? And of course, the Grand Slam that you are about to perform on, the semi-finals that you are performing on for the Bukos Lit Fest continuously, yes? So do you see yourself planning or getting involved in the planning part of spoken word competitions and bringing them here to Tobago?
Ooh,
To get Tobago more involved.
That's something interesting, and I will definitely take it up. So, as I mentioned before, I am a part of the 2 Cents movement, and they are the ones that are responsible for the Racy Bar competition festival that I mentioned earlier. So, right now I am teaching. We have a club called Future Authors. So, y'all could just DM 2 Cents movement on Instagram, TikTok, and they can reach out to you, and you can join the club if you're interested. It's for secondary school students though, and we had a showcase, and competition is something that is coming up, and I'm trying as best as I could to see where we can bring more of that to Tobago.
Okay, so Gabrielle, now that you've gotten so far in the competition, do you have any advice to other competitors or even other people who might be interested in the spoken word competition for next year?
Yes, so my advice would be similar to what I was told. Take your time, keep perfecting your craft, be dedicated to it, and you will reap the rewards. It takes a lot of practice and work. Be willing to listen to criticism, constructive criticism, of course. Be willing to take that and just continue refining what you're doing. And when the time is right, you will probably end up in the finals of the Grand Slam like I did.
All right. Thank you so much, Gabrielle Murray, for being with us this morning and telling us more about the First Citizens National Grand Slam Boca Lit Fest 2024. Thank you so much for being with us here this morning. And again, on behalf of Tobago Updates, and I'm sure a lot of viewers, we bid you farewell in this competition and congratulations in advance, because seeing your spoken word pieces, you are going to win. We have all the confidence in Gabrielle this morning. All right, so we thank you so much for being here with us. As we bring our Youth Wednesdays to a close, we want to thank you viewers for being with us here this morning. I know you all heard the rundown. You're stuck through it. We do apologize for the technical difficulties that occurred this morning, of course. Right, so we continue on with our exciting Good Morning Tobago with Miss Candice Jackson. And as we do, we encourage you all to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Never saying no, from diapers to boxers, raising monsters. What do you expect when you get your son a gun for Christmas? Backchat, slam doors, chores undone. Listen, some problems only fix with a little licks. But afraid, bullet for belt. So punishment is being sent to a room with fridge and AC. And then we wonder how they could have the audacity to disrespect authority. Schoolgirl calls mother, cause teacher, it's apparent to me. Parents today don't parent anymore. Oh God. Lord, parents today, I just wish we would rewind to the time when kids look their age, act their age, song their age. I say we start a new trend. Hashtag parents, parent.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. I come to participate in the event. I train with UE at the St. Augustine campus here. This is my first time here, so it's pretty fun. And while winning my event was the icing on the cakes.
We're spending Easter in Tobago, so we said this is something that they should see. Yeah, I think it is a wonderful thing to do for Tobago, and I like the community spirit and the environment and of course the entrepreneurs down there with the food and the craft, and so I think it's excellent.
Today we have burgers, we have hot dogs, we have chicken and chips. Sales has been going pretty okay thus far. Yeah, it's a nice experience. As you see out here today, we have a lot of niche type businesses, a lot of small or micro businesses on the outside, so a lot of persons get the opportunity to display what they have.
It's been amazing. Watching the goats is wonderful, but also the bonnet competition is quite something.
Yeah, really good fun, really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's been crazy. We haven't seen anything like this at home.
It's really great. The races are fun to watch. All the vendors have good food and attractions. Yeah, I like it because we get to see animals that we usually don't get to see normally in Canada or like Tobago. My snake is my favorite animal. I don't know. I just have always really liked snakes. We have little garter snakes in our backyard that I always catch and always used to catch.
This is an event that normally caters to the family. And once we are able to bring families together, once we are able to execute a better social standing in our community, I think we are a success, you know. Sometimes we measure everything by financial success, but there's always the reality of having stronger communities coming out of events like this.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Tobago now has 25 UN Foundation's facilitators who are equipped to educate others about gender-based violence. They're also able to give guidance on preventative measures regarding gender-based abuse. Armed with their new skills, graduates are grateful to have participated in this UN Women Foundation's program Facilitators Training.
We looked at some of the cultural impacts of gender and how even our own society impacts how gender is seen. So we looked at the role of men and women, and even from a young age, the roles of boys and girls, different things that are frowned upon with boys, frowned upon with girls. I think it was very important because a lot of times we look at gender-based violence on the surface, like thinking that someone is probably just angry with another person and acting out. But when you look at these kind of underlying issues, you realize that it's more deeper than just someone deciding to act out.
Previous set of buzzwords were reducing violence against women and girls. Before it became a gender thing that is now more all-encompassing, it started off as a movement towards reducing violence against women and girls. And as we did this work, it became globally clear that in order to treat with violence against women and girls, we've got to incorporate boys and men. This workshop allows us to equip potential facilitators to appropriately and comprehensively conduct gender and gender-based violence training in emotionally safe ways. This program is but one of the many gender-sensitive initiatives that the division continues to implement, many of which are centered on the holistic development of our country as we streamline and implement best practices monitored by Gay Peoples of the National Policy on Gender and Development and the United Nations Development Programme Sustainable Development Goals 5 and 10.
The intent of the program is to nurture the abilities of positive change agents and increase the number of people who are able to eliminate gender-based abuse.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
GMT, and it is a pleasure to be here with you. I am Natalie Seeley Richardson, and I'll be taking you through our show this morning. To all our viewers, wherever you are viewing from, welcome to downtown Scarborough, Tobago, Portmore location to be exact. And we're switching and we're moving into high gear. Let's check our news with Natalia Nancis.
News in 90 seconds is brought to you by Standards, never beaten on quality and prices.
Thank you, Natalie. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Wednesday, April 24th, 2024. The Tobago Apicultural Society is raising concerns about the proposed Beekeeping and Bee Products Regulations Act 2023, asserting that it may adversely affect the beekeeping industry, particularly for local beekeepers' profitability. One contentious aspect is that the proposed amendment doubles the permissible distance for apiaries from residential areas, increasing it from 100 to 200 meters. Additionally, all beekeepers are troubled by the new $100 permit fee for importing honey and bee byproducts. Although the legislation was scheduled for debate in Parliament last Friday, it was postponed. Beekeepers across Trinidad and Tobago are hopeful that this delay will allow for amendments to strengthen the legislation and bolster the industry. Minority Leader Kelvon Morris questioned the THA's budget management, revealing that the current administration received more central government funding than its predecessor. Morris accused the current administration of misleading the public about being underfunded. Morris posted an image on his Facebook page outlining the administration's budget from 2021 to present, totaling $77 million over 3 years, contrasting the PNM's $40 billion spent over 21 years. Morris alleged the current administration falsely claimed the central government underfunding since taking office, noting a $202 million increase in the 2022-2023 budget, with a cumulative rise of $387 million since 2021. President General of the Oilfield Workers Trade Union, Ansel Roger, personally delivered a letter to the Ministry of Public Utilities yesterday. The letter addressed critical concerns of Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission workers, including inadequate health and safety equipment, tool shortages, and the outsourcing of jobs to private individuals. Roger urged Minister of Public Utilities Marvin Gonzalez to intervene, emphasizing the workers' dedication to delivering efficient service to the nation. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Life is good with Zero. Zero interest for 6 months. Zero down payments. Zero stress payment plan. That's right. With Standards, My Terms, we are putting the power of zero in your hands. Now, you can get that new sectional, fridge, stove, or TV for zero down. Pay zero interest later and enjoy a zero stress payment plan plus quick approval within 48 hours. Standards, never beaten on quality and prices.
Thank you, Natalia, and the viewers, thank you for staying with us. This morning, our first guest is Arthur Patrick, lecturer at THTI. For those of you who are not familiar with that acronym, it's Tobago Hotel and Tourism Institute. Did I get it correct?
Yes, correct.
All right, welcome, Arthur. And you are here to tell us a bit about a special camp coming up for SEA students.
Yes. Well, first of all, good morning and thank you for having me. So we decided to do a SEA brain cooler, if you want to call it that. So how this idea came about, I was actually working out, and there's this guy that works out with me. He said that his daughter is interested in food and she's doing SEA.
Okay.
So he said when the SEA is finished, normally they have nothing to do. So he was just asking me, is it possible, you know, if I could show her some things, you know, pertaining to the culinary arts. So I told him maybe he might be able to bring up to the institute and she can shadow me as I teach my classes. When I got to school the next day, it was still on my mind. So I decided to speak to one of my co-workers, Miss Hazel, concerning it. I threw the idea by her because she's in charge of short courses.
Okay.
So we discussed it and we decided that it may be a good idea. Maybe we should offer it as a mini camp, if you want to call it that, for students who have completed SEA and who may be interested in pursuing a career in food.
Right. Or just have that interest. It may not be exactly a career at this point. So you are very close to the planning of this. As you mentioned, it's your brainchild. And let me commend you for following up. Sometimes, you know, people give us little ideas and we are so busy, but here you are, you took it and you ran with it with your colleague, and I must commend you for that. Now you mentioned it's SEA, so the target audience is just for this year's SEA students, and if so, is it that they have to prove that they wrote the exam this year? Because I mean, this is interesting. So you may have some of us who have children who might say, I wonder if I could slip them in somehow.
Well, the school term is still going on, so I don't think that any parent would, you know, take their child out of school to do something like this.
Right.
But if there are any other parents that may be interested, we also offer a culinary camp in August for any other young person that may be interested in food.
So that's something for us to follow up on.
Yes.
So your target audience for this brain cooler is obviously those who just wrote SEA. Tell us when it is and where it is.
Well, it will be held at the Institute, the Tobago Hospitality and Tourism Institute in Mount St. George, Fleming. It actually starts today.
Okay.
And it will run straight until the end of May. So the camp basically is 3 days. So we take any students in different groups. So every week would be a different group of students. So the camp will be Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So Wednesdays and Thursdays, they'll be in the kitchen with me, making all these nice things. We'll do pasta from scratch, decorate cupcakes, make cookies, do all these nice things. And then on Friday, they'll move into the dining room, where they'll learn dining room etiquette, you know, how to eat with knives and forks, all these things.
Yeah, definitely needed, and it's great to expose our children to those skills.
Yes.
You mentioned, so you're doing it in groups, so it's a 3-day camp, is it? And you're doing different groups. So for those who may be hearing for the first time about it, can they still register, and if so, how?
Yes, they can still register. They can call the institute, or they can go on our website and register for the camp.
The program starts today, and you mentioned it goes to May.
The end of May, yes.
Right, 3-day camp. So those of you who are listening, SEA Brain Cooler Culinary Camp, not just learning to cook, but learning etiquette skills as well. So you have a poster on screen, you see the dates, 3 days for the week, and each week a new group will be facilitated, so you still have time. What time of the day are we looking at?
Well, the camp starts at 9 and it goes until 1. So from 9 to 1 p.m.
Right, and for the parents who may be concerned, you know, I don't want my child in the kitchen, you have knives, etc., all these, you know, equipment and tools, etc. What sort of safety requisites or things put in place?
Well, that's a good question. All our lecturers are highly trained individuals, and we are accustomed teaching people knife safety, knife etiquette, and all these things.
Right.
So parents have nothing to worry about. Their children will be safe. They are in good hands.
Right. And how large are these groups? Average size?
Average size, 15 students per group.
Right. So you are going to be their main lecturer, right? You are exposing them to the different arts of cooking.
Yes.
Will there be another assistant? Because you have a group of 15 children, they are very energetic, they move quickly, and I'm sure they'll be super excited to ask so many questions.
Yes. Well, besides myself, there will be other lecturers that would pass in from time to time. Also, the advanced culinary students at the institute, they would also be in the class assisting the students as well.
Mm-hmm. So parents, you've heard from Mr. Patrick, one of the lecturers, and it was so, I was chatting with him before we came on, and I'm like, oh, you got into this just after school, and he's been lecturing for 8 years. He knows his stuff. He's worked in the industry locally and internationally, and it's always great to see young people who find a passion and they can live through this passion. So I'm going to just allow you, as we wrap up this conversation, Mr. Patrick, to encourage parents who may be hearing about this for the first time, and encourage them to expose their children to something like this.
Yes.
And as you do that, I want you to also tell us the cost, because I'm sure there's a cost involved, and
Yes.
I think they should also be aware of that.
The cost is only $495. For parents who may be interested or may want to send their kids, I think that they should, even if their child does not want to be a chef. I think that it is beneficial for everyone to know how to cook and make something for themselves to eat. And also for the students who maybe want to become chefs, now is a good time to apply to come to the institute, because we have a lot of things going on. We have study abroad tours for our students to go to. Well, we recently came back from the Wine and Food Festival in Florida. We went to the Barbados Food and Rum Festival, so we have study tours. Also, we have a lot of activities that we are planning to do also. So later down in the year, we have an Iron Chef competition that we want to put on. Carnival time, we'd like to do a brunch and soca event. Also, next year, we are also planning a food and wine festival. So the students will get a lot of experience, dealing with people and just basically working.
So definitely a lot going on, and of course, if you would like your child to attend that SCA Brain Cooler Culinary Camp, you can find more information on THTI's website. So check it out, parents, and thank you for joining us this morning and sharing the information.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we go to a break, and when we return, we have another guest joining us, so stay tuned.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the sky.
Hey there, jazz lovers. Fairways Restaurant and Lounge brings you Brunch on the Greens, a food-inclusive experience. Mark your calendars for Sunday, April 28th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. as we bring you the ultimate brunch experience. Brunch on the Greens.
1,000 kisses from you is never
Don't miss out on the fun and the smooth sounds of live jazz filling the air. Featuring Tobago's very own Kay Allen, Adonna, Stephanie Joseph, and from Barbados, Narc. Brunch on the Greens promises to be unforgettable. Tickets are $300 and are available online at islandetickets.com and at special locations in Trinidad, Lisa Faye Hand-Dyed Silk Clothing, Normandy Hotel, and Cache Eastgate Mall, Trin City. In Tobago, Fairways Restaurant and Lounge, U Vogue Hort Mall, Cache Lowlands, Jade Monkey Crown Point, East Bay Fashion Spring Garden. For more info, contact 760-9866. Sunday, April 28th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Fairways Restaurant and Lounge. We head to Brunch on the Greens.
Hey, how are you going? Uncle Errol here. Listen to me. I'm so happy to announce that on the 25th, 26th and 27th of April, Karaoke Guile will be in Tobago. I'm looking forward to it so much. There's a grand prize of $10,000, so you can take part. Registration is easy. You call 371-7355. That number again, 371-7355, and register. It costs $100. Now the prelims are at Big Dog. That's on the 25th and on the 26th. And the grand final is at Village Vibes Bar in Mason Hall. Now the admission for Village Vibes Bar final is $150. However, if you have your Guile t-shirt, which costs $100, you can walk in free of charge. Call the same number to buy your t-shirt, to order a t-shirt. Oh, geez, and it is again, but we're so excited about being in Tobago for Karaoke Guile. Karaoke Guile is powered by Big Dog, La Cantina, Village Vibes Bar, Honey Restaurant, Alfred's Auto Supplies, and the good folks at the Tobago Updates.
Welcome back, viewers. I am Natalie Seeley Richardson, and you are viewing GMT this morning. With me in the studio is Mr. Larry Paul, the chairman of the Tobago Council of the People's National Movement, and also the president of the Black Rock Village Council. And we know there has been some issue in terms of the use of the multipurpose facility at Black Rock. So we will speak to that first. And let me welcome you, Mr. Paul. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Jason. It's a pleasure. And how are you this morning?
I am fine, thank you.
Great,
so I
great.
want us to get right into it because I introduced you as the president of the Black Rock Village Council, but others may say otherwise. So tell me how you arrived at being the president of the council and when your term began.
Well, good morning again, and good morning to people of Black Rock. Well, of course, I am the president of the Black Rock Village Council. And as you know, the Black Rock Village Council started way before my time. It was established in 1963.
Right.
And there are a long list of presidents from Eric Charles, Stanford Calendar, Sylvan Cookshank, and of course, Larry Paul. And I've been serving there for a little while as the president. But more importantly, the Black Rock Village Council, as I said, has been founded over a number of years ago.
Right.
And Black Rock Village Council really have one of those strong and prominent village council. From that time, 1963, that we were registered, we formed before that, we registered in that time, to present, we have functioned continually.
Right, but when did you begin sitting as the president of the village council?
Well, I was somewhere in about 2010.
Has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supply specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Na, 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 na. Good morning, Tobago. Na, 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 na. Let's go, go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanin.
Viewers, we apologize for the interruption. Bear with us this morning. Let me just remind you, I'm sitting with Mr. Larry Paul, and we were just talking about him sitting as president of the Black Rock Village Council. And you said you have been president since 2010.
Yes.
According to the constitution of the Black Rock Village Council, how often is the elections held for the executive of the council?
Well, our elections are held yearly.
Okay.
And the only period we didn't have elections, as most village councils, was that period during COVID, that
Right.
2-year period.
Right, right.
But after that, we held our elections and we're back and running as normal.
All right, so you had elections last year.
We had elections last year, in May last year.
Right, so you were returned as president.
Yes, and we have our elections again by the end of this month.
Okay.
Because the Constitution says that, of course, you can have elections between that period, January to March, and the association gives an extension.
Right.
Before this new Constitution,
The association, as in the Village Council
Association of Village
Trinidad
Councils,
and Tobago,
yes,
right?
they could give you continuous extensions.
Okay.
But they have a revised Constitution of this year,
Yes.
which says that they give you a 1-month extension.
Okay.
That's April.
So it must be held within
Within
that period after.
yes,
Right.
and we have had that.
Okay. So elections are coming up pretty soon for the Village
Village
Council.
Council. Yes, and we function as normal.
Right.
And you know, the Black Rock Village Council have given to Tobago. You see, Black Rock Village Council, I want to make the point that we have given to Tobago one of the longest presidents of the Association of Village Councils, Mr. Sylvan Cruikshank,
Right.
who went on to get a national award because of his service in Village Council and Community Councils. He
Right.
came from Black Rock. He is
Right.
also the president of the Black Rock Village Council.
Right. Very well. So we have some history there, viewers. And Mr. Paul, we know that time is going, and I know I want to get into that issue that is playing off in the public between the Secretary of Community Development, Assemblyman Terrence Baines, and of course what you have been seeing in the public light as well. From your perspective, where do you think an error may have occurred? For viewers who have not been up to speed, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that central government approached the village council to use the facility, and but apparently there was, well, I should allow you to say it.
Yes.
So that I would not give any mixed information.
Thank you again. So the Black Rock Village Council came into prominence in the public domain based on statements
Right.
made by the Honorable Secretary, Mr. Terrence Baines, indicating that the Black Rock Village Council first is defunct, that Larry Paul is running an illegal operation and have no responsibility or no authority to hold keys.
But on what grounds would he have said that, though? Because you're saying that you'll have been having elections. How would the secretary been advised otherwise then?
Well, you understand my confusion, and that's why I gave clarity.
Okay.
And I told you we had elections in May of 2023, and of course, his representative or representative of the community development would have also been at that election.
Okay.
So I think it was ill-advised. I think it was a bit of emotion, and I couldn't understand because the Blackhawk Village Council is not at war with the secretary, you know.
Right.
We have always cooperated. We have dialogue all the time, and we couldn't understand. Before you go and make those public outbursts, talk to us. We have an area representative who's always talking to us. We're always in dialogue, so we find it strange, and I couldn't understand where the secretary was going with that.
Right.
So he said all those things, and I just reminded you that we had our elections, so that statement was incorrect. We are properly constituted, and we are not defunct. And of course, based on our early beginnings, we have always held the keys for the center.
Right.
We have always collaborated. This is not the first time that we collaborated with the ministry. And in our constitution of the Association of Village Councils, I work with it, you know. I'm going to read just one part. It says the aim.
Right.
Just quickly.
Sure.
Taking 2 minutes. It says aim and objectives. It says the Village Council is supposed to cooperate with government and other agencies in the promotion of community development activities aimed at improving the life in the community.
Right.
That's exactly what we are doing.
But some of the issues arising out of this, if I may call it, misunderstanding, would be the use of the facility which falls under the remit of the Tobago House of Assembly. Right? Yes, the village councils are put in place, but we know that the THA Act provides powers for the THA divisions to control and have that remit over some of the resources here, right? So if I want to say the buck stops with them in terms of usage, though you may have committees or individuals managing these facilities, right? So I just want, I want us to be clear on that, and as you said, your constitution, of course, allows you to engage with organizations and institutions, bringing in programs to benefit your community, and that is obvious. One of the things coming out of it, and you can shed light on it, is that there's a duplication of the training programs, because that's one of the issues that seem to have some contention, where THA through ComDev is providing their vocational program, and certain programs are being done, and then the Ministry of Sport and Community Development also is providing programs, or wants to provide programs at the said facility, and there seems to be a duplication. Clarify that for us.
Let me just bring some clarity based on what you said. Now, the Blackhawk complex, Blackhawk Regional Multipurpose Complex, is unique. It's the only one of its kind in Tobago. So I want to give the genesis very quickly. That very early, the Blackhawk Village Council had its own center on its own lands, donated to the community. So we built that, community built that. And then somewhere in 1995, this opportunity came for a regional multipurpose complex. They were building 4 in Trinidad, so that they had 3 in Trinidad, and of course, due to the advocacy of Mr. Stanford Calendar, who was in Parliament, and Patrick Manning then was the Prime Minister, advocated to get 1 in Tobago, and that's how we got that facility.
Right.
The Village Council then were in negotiations. We are giving up what we sweat and worked for. What are we getting in return? So that in their management structure, the Village Council always came into the management. So it was built, and it was built in negotiation with Ms. Beverly Ramsey Moore, who was the Secretary of the Village Council and also the Secretary of Community Development.
Right.
And she played a major role, because when it came to Tobago, of course, THA wanted it elsewhere, and she said it must be in Blackrock. And that's where we started. Now the Village Council said that we're not giving up that for nothing. We must be involved in the management. So in that negotiation with the, as I said, in that negotiation with the Village Council, we said we're going to establish a board to manage the center.
Right.
And the chairman of the board will be the president of the Village Council or the Village Council representative. So from the inception of that center, the Village Council managed it.
Okay.
And we manage it up until today. So when the board would have expired, the last board, it was 2010, thereabout, when there are more multi-purpose complex in the community, some of the THA then, through one of the secretaries, indicated they wanted to expand the role or look at different permutations that might suit what exists now. So there's several discussions taking place in terms of expanding the role, wanting the board to look at all the facilities in the community, the Heritage Park, and all of that. And as I mentioned, Heritage Park, just quickly, it is the Black Hawk Village Council who, led by me, created that Heritage Park that we all enjoy.
Right.
So I'm saying that, so come back to now, indicating that was what our management structure.
Right.
So the chairman of the board was the president of the Black Hawk Village Council or the representative of the village council.
Right.
And there was a line item coming from central government, multipurpose complexes that will fund the center. So that was where the funding came from. And I just,
let me ask,
just quickly,
before
I want to show you this quickly, so I wouldn't lose the point. So when we did our estimates, we would have had 1, as it says here, current transfers and subsidies,
Right.
2, non-profit organization, 3, 16 regional complexes. So that's how the funding started.
Right.
That's where the management started. And after the board expired, then of course, the village council continued the management of the center to the interest of all.
Right,
You were saying?
and most of the village councils on the island do have a part to play in how they run their community centers or multipurpose centers and all the various names we give it. And I know at some point in a past regime, you had coordinators who were hired
let me just jump in
to
there
manage,
very
just a
quickly.
minute, to manage some of these facilities as well. And there's a switch back to the community saying, hey, this belongs to us as well. So I know you're saying that Black Rock seems unique, but I think it's a thrust across the island. But I want us to get back to the point.
Well, you made a point I had to correct that point.
Right.
So that in the past regime, there were multipurpose, where the decision was made to have, we call that coordinators in the centers. And there are some village councils that, as we know, couldn't manage their facilities.
Right.
So that's where that came in, because some keys and persons based on your political persuasions or who you like, you may have kept the keys and so on.
Right.
That never happened in Black Rock. And when that came about, I represented Black Rock then,
Right.
and I said Black Rock would not be a part of that. And there are some communities have not been involved in that.
Right.
You have the Mount Pleasant and Black Rock. I think they're the only two most prominent ones in
Right.
terms
The
of
village
management
councils
of their
managing their-
facilities.
right.
That has not changed.
Right.
So, and because of that, we have partnered with YTEP. We have partnered with ministries before. This is not the first time, minister is not the first time.
Right.
We partnered before. We have had several programs at the center. And because we have never had, from 63 to now, we have never once had to ask approval from community development for the use, for anyone to use this center.
Right.
So we are saying if there's a change or you feel otherwise, you could have a conversation. That's the point I'm making,
Right.
Because it never happened before.
But I know you said you were called into a meeting. I think you met the administrator. So did that meeting not facilitate this discussion?
No, that meeting was we were to give instruction. That's a different meeting.
Okay.
So that meeting started when the classes on the center started.
Right.
And of course, there were two sets, one week and one during the week and one on the weekends. So at some point in that time, just the same week the class started, the administrator would have called, indicating that she got word that, just as you said earlier, the ministry having classes at the center.
Right.
And they are of the firm view that the village council were putting out, in other words, or where I want to put it, that they were displacing
Right.
classes held by the community development.
Right. I want us just to pause there because I want the answers to the questions, right? So was there a duplication in terms of what was to be proposed by the ministry as opposed to the division? Because you are in charge and I mean, you talk about the management and you all are, on par what's happening. So was there a duplication?
No, I will say no.
You will say okay.
No, right. No,
and in terms
wait,
just
no,
now,
wait,
Mr.
I want
Paul,
to answer how
I know,
no.
but hold on, because remember, we want to follow. You have been in the social media
Yes.
space, so has the secretary, and this morning it's about also giving us some kind of clarity or for those who want to understand what's really going on, right? Because even myself, so I'm asking the questions to chart the process. And in terms of not having that duplication, walk us through the space. Is it that you can have simultaneous programs going on? If you have a class teaching in here, another class can happen. Is there enough parking space? That kind of arrangement to facilitate, let's just say, if the two parties are to say, yes, go ahead, can the facility, accommodate that?
Right. So, and that's just That's the case. What you said is exactly the case.
So can the facility accommodate
yes.
that?
So that
the answer is yes?
The answer is yes.
Okay.
So we had a village council meeting there on Monday at the center. And there was a birthday party at the center.
Right.
Same time.
Okay.
So that because we have the main hall, and I made the point earlier on another media, that whenever if there are 2 activities or more happening at the same time, and the division having any activity or function or want the use of the center, they always get priority of the main hall. That has always been the case.
Right.
That has not changed, and it did not change.
Right.
And anything that's happening will happen in the auxiliary offices at the back and at the side.
Right.
And we have many of those.
Right. And in terms of using that space, a meeting versus a birthday party, different types of events, but in terms of having classes at the same time, right? Because I just want to get that understanding. If you have tutors, is it that where the other rooms are, you can't hear what's going on in the main hall and vice versa?
Well, that's why I made the example of the birthday party. The birthday party will have...
No, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And we had a successful meeting there.
Right. But that was like a one-off as well. But for it to be sustained...
So the classes, let me just clear out. So the ComDev classes took place in the main hall.
Right.
And on one of the days, one of the classes would start at 3 and it will end at 5. And the ComDev classes will start, I think it was 5 and end at 8.
Okay.
So that it went on, one in the auxiliary office and one in the main hall. And there was no clashing, there's no disturbance, there was nothing. Because it wasn't unusual. So I think because of the misinformation and the perception that if something happening at the same time, or there's a little 1 hour layover, then there will be some displacement or something. That was never the case.
Right.
So that is why that was never the case. It never happened before. And we are responsible. We're not being irresponsible. And we are saying that the 2 classes that they held, in terms of those classes, were fully subscribed. So I'm saying if you have a choice to train 20 and you change to train 40, of course we'll train 40 because it's better for all Tobagonians. Our interest is developing the community and of Tobago.
Right. Okay. And again, from what is being said, or what has been said by you, by the minister, by the secretary.
I've been consistent.
The issue, and I'm sure everybody can claim that they have been consistent. The issue, and I like the point you raised where, okay, maybe more people can benefit, etc. But now I want to look in terms of the jurisdiction. So we know there has always been a tug and pull in terms of central government versus THA. Right, the THA Act would outline the powers of the Tobago House of Assembly. One being for the division of ComDev to, I don't want to, and maybe I might use the wrong language, so forgive me, right? To take ownership, to take control of these facilities. Yes, they may be managed by a village council, they may have a coordinator, they may have whoever, right? Because we know the purpose of these buildings, it's for the community to have programs, etc. But in terms of what the THA Act defines, the powers of the Tobago House of Assembly and its divisions to take ownership, to manage these facilities, isn't the THA within line or within their powers to say, hey, if it is central government wants to come and do something, we need to give the okay, because it's within our power in terms of this is ours. So help me understand that, because this is not the first time this will play off, right? We have had when Mr. London was the secretary of the Tobago House. I mean, you saw how
I don't want to go there because I deal with village council.
No, I know, but
there's
I'm
a level higher than that. I'm not going there.
No. Let me finish make the point, because I don't think you know where I'm going.
Right.
We're talking about a separation of powers. So I understand where you are in terms of the village council, and I mean, you have been saying that the secretary or whoever may have been misinformed, and it's the first time that you're seeing this in terms of being told you cannot have, or the village council doesn't have that authority to give another entity, that power. So in terms of that, I'm just, based on what has happened before, I have seen where Mr. London, who when he was in power as secretary,
but see, I don't want you to go there.
Know, but
I don't want you to go there.
I know. Let me know. I have to go because I am understanding the powers of division. Where you had then Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesa doing something in Tobago, and he was quite vocal in saying,
you're confusing. No,
Mr. Paul, allow me. Our viewers are listening. They want to hear you. They want to hear me, right? In terms of protecting the powers of the Tobago House of Assembly, in making sure central government doesn't encroach on the THA Act. So that's where I'm going. So in terms of you having your constitution, your mandate as president of the village council, right, then THA also has to protect their entity or however they may see it. So in listening to what you have said and the secretary and the minister, because to be honest, everybody will hold their end, Mr. Paul. You will say this is it, the secretary will say this is it, and the minister will say this is it. It's up to us now in the public to listen to everybody and pick out really some of the facts. And that is why we are here. That is why I am here, not to make a judgment, but to provide some kind of understanding in what's going on, because everybody has something to say and you think you are right and you may be right. I am not to say. So I am just asking, as a person in Tobago living in this island, right? So for me and for some of those who are listening, this is not new in terms of THA protecting, if for want of a better expression, it's turf and saying, hey, if central government wants to come in and use a facility, it has to, and I will allow you to. Okay. You have to pass through us. So I'm asking if that is wrong, because you are in the politics, you are, more abreast than me.
Right. You see, I wear two hats, and I want to state firmly that I'm not mixing politics with village council.
Right, okay.
And our Blackwell Village Council will not be drawn into the politics.
Right.
We deal with village council business.
Right.
THA and minister at different level. Right. We're not getting involved in that.
Right.
So we deal at the village council level. That's where I was going.
Right.
So that if there's an issue with the government and the THA, the minister and the secretary at the level deal with that.
Right.
Don't bring the village council into that. Right. I'm not wearing a hat at all.
Okay.
And I resist that with all the skin in my body.
Okay.
So that is why, because our village council have all persons in there, different political persuasion.
Right.
Never once we get into the politics.
Right.
That's why I tell the secretary, don't bring us into the politics. If there's a problem, and you outline along what happened, we not as village council, we are not getting involved in that.
Okay.
Or it doesn't go there at all, nowhere.
Right.
And that is why I'm saying, don't bring us into politics.
Okay.
Because that's where we'll destroy our village councils. And persons are saying that they're trying to get the village council in politics. We are resisting that. Our village council will not get into the politics. So the discussion you outlined there, that's a different discussion at all. When I'm on a political hat, but I'm wearing village council hat. We're not getting involved in that village council. We have a role to play, and we partner with different agencies and so on. And if for some reason the secretary at that level realize that, listen, something is wrong. Right. Talk to us, we are open.
Right.
As I said before, he also has a conduit because we are in close communication with our area representative, Mr. Niall George.
Right.
He comes to our village council meetings. He was at our awards function. What I'm saying, there's never time we have this antagonistic relationship. Right. So if he finds something was wrong, there are different avenues he can use rather than just say, I'm taking back the keys.
Okay.
How could that be right?
Okay. Right. So, and that's why you are here, right, to share with us. And my point wasn't, and I know we have to go to a break, but I just want to clarify, because I don't think you understood me bringing that comparison. Not the politics. I don't like it. I'm not making a political point. I'm just looking at THA, the powers of the Tobago House of Assembly that has to govern this island and what has happened in the past. So it's not I don't think that was, but I don't know if you're saying that is political when Mr. London was telling then Prime Minister, don't encroach on THA. I don't know if you're saying that is political, but I'm not making that a political point. I'm just seeing the Chief Secretary doing his job in terms of protecting THA and the institution that it is. And I'm seeing that similarity here now, but I'm not making a political point. So I just want that to be very clear.
I think there's two different things.
But we can agree to disagree. But we have to go to a break, and we'll continue our conversation with Mr. Paul.
The passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying Tobago is number one.
Come jumping in and John funny that's what your money mean. Don't need your love that I cost me fi pay. Like King Solomon and bag a girl to me name. Every girl rock out, Lord rock out. Me say hot girl understand your time fi step out. Big bumper girl your time fi get scrub out. Hand on your knee, treat the girl and your body. And every girl I get wild out tonight. Party in my out tonight. If she suck me a fine out tonight. And you don't know what a wild out tonight. Out the blue light fi a try out the back.
On Saturday, April 27th, the atmosphere in Black Rock, Tobago will be filled with the sweet sound of jazz as Black Two Sugars and Starfish Tobago present Beachfront Jazz from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. A premium drinks inclusive event featuring Ace Bajan saxophonist Arturo Tappan and band, Trinidad Top Jazz Ensemble, Alan Paulay with Vaughn and Bigfoot, Tobago songstress Kai DeVere, and just added veteran jazz guitarist Michael Boothman, pianist Hannah Goodrich, and new sensation Rose. Backed by the Beachfront Jazz Project, led by Emmy Fortune. Beachfront Jazz, all part of the Tobago Jazz and Music Weekend. Get your tickets now at Cache Port of Spain, Trin City, Eastgate, Gulf City Malls in Trinidad, Lowlands Mall in Tobago, and Gencare Day Spa, Woodbrook and Tobago. Or call 681-1516 or 627-4141. Brought to you by B-Mobile, our telecommunications partner, RBC Royal Bank, Angostura Premium Rums, Hennessy, Johnny Walker Scotch, and the Prime Minister Sports and Culture Fund. Beachfront Jazz, April 27th, Black Rock, Tobago.
Deltec Distributors, best deal. 3 pounds, pork, goat, chicken, turkey, beef, 5 meats, 3 pounds each, $300, best deal. Or you could try 5 pounds pork, goat, chicken, turkey, beef, 5 meats, 5 pounds each, $500, best deal. $20 delivery. Call me now, 359-5040 or 237-0102. Order online at www.deltecdistributors.com or check with us, Mainwood, Argyle, Tobago. Deltec Distributors, best deal.
Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion starts.
Welcome back, viewers. Thank you for staying with us, and we continue our conversation with Mr. Paul this morning. Before we switch gears into discussing the Tobago Council of the People's National Movement internal elections, Mr. Paul, I would just like you to, because this, for me, this can be a never-ending issue. Right? Yeah. It can end, but it can be if we bring all the different entities and everybody has, you know, their different opinions, and everybody has that right as well. But as a person from the community, as the president of the village council, what do you think should be the way forward? How would you like this now to come to an end?
Well, thank you. Very good question. Because we met as village council on Monday.
Right.
And the villagers indicated that the way forward should have, we have discussions. Let us discuss with our area representative, bring it to his attention. Of course, he's aware. Let him know what we spoke about. So I took the liberty, I called the area representative, as normal, it's a normal thing.
Yes.
And let him know what the villagers indicated. He said he will discuss it. He did discuss it with the chief secretary. And the chief secretary indicated that He will deal with the matter. My understanding of that is that the status quo will continue. He will come to our next village council meeting. We will bring clarity. We have always, as a community, always collaborate, always discuss, and we are saying we'll continue those discussions because there's nothing unusual what we have been doing. And if you feel that there's a change or you want to have a little shift, we are saying we're open to discussions.
Right.
But we're also saying that we are defending our community at all costs.
Right.
But we are also open for discussion and negotiation, and that is how it should be.
And as you said, you know, it's amazing how our minds can trigger memories. You said, as you said that, you're defending your village council. I remember one of the PNM's former campaign in defense of Tobago, and it's about protecting what THA has control over. So let's switch gears now. Let's switch gears, Mr. Paul, right?
Thank you very much.
You were sitting in a neutral position as president of the village council. Now we switch to the political side of you as chairman of the Tobago Council of the People's National Movement. Internal elections is up. Now in my mind, when I heard that, I was like, didn't they just have internal elections? So walk us through. I understand there's a 4-year position, 2-year position. Walk us through that process in terms of which election is going to be held.
So we had elections in 2022.
Right.
And so we have 17 positions on the executive.
Right.
So we have 4 of those positions are 4-year positions, and the others are 2-year positions. So the elections we're having this year is for those for the 2-year positions.
Okay.
And that elections will be held on the 27th and on the 28th of April. That's Saturday and Sunday coming.
Right.
Saturday is whole day. That will take place from 8 in the morning until 6 in the afternoon at 4 different locations.
Okay.
So we'll have one of our voting stations at Moriah Multipurpose Complex. We have the other one at Canaan Community Center. And then we have now at Scarborough, which is the People's National Movement Tobago Council's office.
Right.
And we also have another station at the Belgarden multipurpose facility.
So those are your voting stations?
Those are voting stations.
And it's all day?
And it's all day on Saturday.
Right. 8 a.m.
8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And once you are a registered member of the party, you can vote.
Right.
And also on Sunday, which is our special convention to introduce our new executive and also to discuss the party's platform.
Okay.
That happened on Sunday. You can vote now from 9 in the morning to 2.
Okay.
And our convention starts at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
And that will happen at the Caroline Building, upstairs City Post in Scarborough.
So the voting at the same locations on Sunday?
No, so Sunday is only one.
Right. Saturday, it's the 4 locations, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
That's correct.
And Sunday, you have one location, which will be
Caroline Building.
Oh, same place of the convention. Caroline Building. Very
upstairs
well.
City Post.
Right. So let's talk about which positions are up for grabs.
Yes. So let me just tell you quickly which positions are up for grabs. So I'll go through them very, very quickly. So we have first the lady vice chairman. So let me clear it up first. So in this election, some positions went back unopposed. So there are only 4 positions will be contested this weekend.
Okay.
But I just tell you all the positions that are for grabs just quickly.
Right.
So the lady vice chairman, we have a new posting that position, and she's unopposed. So you now have the treasurer. That is one of the positions that are up for grabs on Sunday. The elections officer is another position up for grabs this weekend.
Right.
And you have the youth officer is also for grabs, and the education officer. Those are the 4 positions. So going back, that are unopposed, so you now have the assistant general secretary, the public relations officer, the research officer, the welfare officer, the field officer, the operations officer, the labor officer, and of course the youth officer is also been contended again this year. So it's 17 positions.
But some are safe.
Some are very, very safe. And it could only tell you that some persons felt that they're satisfied with those persons who have served.
Right.
And then you have some new persons who are coming on.
Right.
I think it's very healthy part of our democracy under the People's National Movement. And we are encouraging persons, once you are a registered member, come out, because you see, this is the base of our democracy, where you have a chance to elect persons that you want to serve as your executive in the party.
Right. And if necessary, change needs to happen, you make that change. So for those of you who are members of the PNM, you come out, as Mr. Larry is saying, exercise your franchise. It doesn't matter on what level. This is your elections. Come out, let your voice be heard, and, select the candidate you think can get the job done. What goes on in your convention? So you have a convention on Sunday. What's the purpose of that convention?
Right. So it's a special convention where you have all your members of your party group, all your different arms of the party, we come together. We just came out of that internal elections.
Right.
So at that you're going to announce the new executive.
Okay.
They're going to be introduced and inducted one time, because they are not going to take us into the next term. And after that, we have some motions. The person will bring motions that you want to see to take to our national convention.
Right.
But most importantly, our party's platform, which is our main focus, which is our vision that for Tobago, where we want to tell you what is the People's National Movement will do in terms of tourism, what's our thoughts on agriculture. So that's the party's platform. We are going to bring it to the membership.
Right.
They're going to go through it, and of course, we ask them to we're going to vote and ensure that we're all in agreement. That is the way forward.
Right.
And of course, before that, it will come to our convention, our council meeting today.
Okay.
It's going to be approved by the council.
Right.
And then goes to the convention.
Right. What time is the convention on Sunday?
Convention is from 4 to 8.
Okay, so
we
voting on the Sundays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
2.
So it's to 2, right? So let me not get that confused.
9 to 2.
9 to 2 on Sunday. And your convention begins at 4. So is it that you announce who would have won from that voting Saturday and Sunday? You present
the full executive.
Okay,
you present it to the public, and of course those who are there will see.
Right.
And see that these are your new executives.
Okay.
The person is ready, willing, and able to take the party
and
forward.
And they will be inducted, as you said, and all the different formalities, etc.
Yes. And of course, we are on a high coming out of all our walkabouts and our meetings and our interaction with the people, giving hope to persons and so on.
Right.
So we expect a full house as usual and good interaction.
Right.
We're telling people, come out, continue. The People's National Movement is there for you.
Right.
We are in a position, we are doing our work, we are doing our strategic plan, so that our strategic plan, of course, is what we're going to talk about next, and our vision for Tobago and taking Tobago forward.
And just to clarify for viewers, this election is for registered members of the party. You know how we are here, so somebody will come and say, I just vote for them every election and whatever, why I can't vote here, that kind of thing. But how do you become a registered member of the People's National Movement?
Right, so through our party groups, we meet persons on the road, or person will come to the PNM office in Scarborough, Tobago Council's office.
Right.
I want to join the PNM because I'm excited about your party.
Right.
They fill up a form so that you have a recommender, they signed it, they take it to the membership committee, and then you say, okay, you're a registered member, you're now on a membership list, we have information, we call you, and then of course you have a party card.
Right, okay. So
And
once you have that, you are legit.
Yes. And some persons, of course, are not getting their party card.
Yes.
But once you have been registered, once you have made out that form and register, and we say you're approved, then you're a registered member of the party.
Right. So those of you who belong to the PNM political group, now is your time to ensure that internally things are organized and you have your voice, you come out and vote. Tell us the importance of taking part in an exercise like this, because our time, of course, is running fast, Mr. Paul. Because sometimes, even on a national level, you hear people, they talk, but when it's time to vote, nothing. They don't go and exercise their franchise. How important is this for the members of this political party to come out and exercise that franchise on Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah, because you have a chance to have your voice be heard. So you have a chance to vote who you want in office.
Right.
Because if you don't vote, you can't talk after, because the chance was there.
Right.
So this is the hallmark of a democracy, where one man or one vote, you can vote for the persons you want to see to take your executive forward. If you're saying, listen, treasurer is open, you have 2 candidates, so I want this one because I think he's better able to give us what we want in the party. So persons should come out and vote, come out and support your candidate and let your voice be heard, which is the important thing. Because you can't quarrel if you did not contribute.
Right.
Let your voice be heard.
Right.
It's the same thing in national context. When it comes to voting, you can't stay home. Let your voice be heard.
Correct.
No matter who you vote for. Of course, I would say vote for the PNM.
Right,
but
you understand that.
I'm saying, come out and vote.
Yes.
It's your democratic right.
Yes.
because persons fought for that, that you can have that right to vote.
And as you say, if you don't vote and then you're quarreling about everything, you need to stay quiet. You had a chance, right? And how do you then now, your members, as you say, somebody will win, somebody would lose, right? How do you move on now as a group, as a political group, where some of your members kind of feel, well, my side they win or my person they win? How do you deal with that individual or groups of individuals or a party group who supported person A and that person didn't make it?
Well, you know, it's no secret that the PNM itself,
right?
Because we are a small-knit society, that we had our challenges when it comes to internal elections. That's no secret.
Right.
So we are now, of course, doing reconciliation, talking to those who are followed, because if we are good friends and you know, we're voting and your side win and might say, people get, you should vote for me and that kind of thing, and hold our corners and we're not talking to each other and so on. But we are saying it's part of our democracy. Somebody must win and somebody must lose.
Most definitely.
It's for us now to coalesce as one, because the whole, together we aspire, together we achieve, and the change is as weak as what? As strong as the weakest link. So I'm saying you can't afford to be a weak link.
Right.
We have to be strong. And in fact, in most small societies, you have that problem, you know.
Right.
In terms of the maturity to understand the concept of internal elections, one man, one vote.
Right.
Before just delegate system. But now it's open up. And we are trying now to ensure that after elections, we meet, we have interaction with persons, we go to the party group, we have reconciliation efforts, we have togetherness games, and so we can come together. Because you always have that.
All right, so as we close this morning, I want you, Mr. Paul, to speak to the members of your party and rally them and get them to come out on Saturday and Sunday.
Yes. So, of course, to all the members of the People's National Movement, we ask you to come out. Come out and support the candidates of your choice. Come out and make your voice be heard for elections on the 27th, 4 stations, and on the 28th, upstairs Caroline Building, Wilson Road, from 9 to 2. See you there.
All right, viewers, so those of you who are concerned with that, you have the information. Remember as well, our first interview this morning, the SCA Brain Cooler at THTI. For those of you who are interested, there is still time to register your child and get them involved in that beautiful experience. So thank you for staying with us this morning. I am Natalie C.D. Richardson. It's always a pleasure to spend my morning with you. So until next time, just keep viewing Tobago Updates.
Tobago Updates. Good morning, Tobago. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the sky.